Raj says, how to nest local schema inside main organization schema, or should we make 2 blocks, one after the others of schema? From what I understand, it's okay to do 2 blocks. I've always preferred to do nested schema or connected data items. There's a number of terms for it. They all mean the same thing. Personally, I don't know how to code that myself. I always just use an app. I use Schema app. I've talked about this a lot. I use schemaapp.com. It's stupid expensive though. Use Clint Butler's Rank Gear or Rob Beal's Schema Tech. Those are 2 different services that are advanced schema generating apps that can do that kind of stuff. Like I said, I use Schema app just because I've been using it for like 4 or 5 years before these other apps that I just mentioned were available. And I'm used to it. I'm comfortable with it. I'm on a grandfathered pricing plan, so I'm just going to stay with that. But I use an app like that because it does the connected data items properly. Anytime I've tried to code anything in Schema on my own, I always screw it up. And if you guys have ever tried to correct an error in Schema, I mean, you might as well, like, I'd rather have my fingernails pulled out one by one than trying to figure that shit out. Like, seriously, it's absolutely maddening trying to find a misplaced comma or quote or squiggly bracket or something. And it just, if I find an error in Schema, I just start over because you know what I mean? Like most of the time, because it's just, I can't find that stuff. I get a headache just looking at Schema for too long. No kidding. I am not that kind of a nerd that can do that kind of stuff. Some people are that are really good at that, not me. So that's why I use the apps. For connected data items, I just use an app that does it properly. But from what I understand, you can have 2 different blocks as long as they're both marking up elements that are present on that page. So like, for example, if it's a multi-location business, or even if it's a single location business, and the location landing page, which is the website URL associated with the Google Business Profile. So whatever you add is the website, the primary website for the Google Business Profile. I call that the location landing page because if it's a single location business, it's generally going to be the homepage URL. It's typical, it's normal, that's fine. But if it's a multi-location business, it should be most of the time going to be a specific inner page that is optimized for that particular location. In some cases, if it's a multi-location business that started with one location, sometimes the homepage will be the location landing page for the original Google Business Profile location, but then subsequent locations will have their own inner page that's optimized for those specific locations. What I'm saying is in any of those cases, on the homepage, you can have organization, and I recommend corporation schema, which is a subtype of organization schema, which is more appropriate for a for-profit business. So organization or corporation schema on the homepage, but you can also have local business with the most appropriate subtype schema on that same page because it is both an organization, corporation, and a local business, right? So it can both be present on that page is what I'm saying. And from what I understand, again, this is relatively new to me, but that it is okay to have multiple elements of schema that aren't connected properly as long as they are marking up elements of that page, like that are present on that page. And I may be incorrect about that because that's relatively new to me from what I understand from reading some documentation about it. I was always under the impression that it should be connected properly or it shouldn't be on the page at all. But from what I understand, it is okay. Anyway, moving on. Last 2, and then we can get into some comments. So use an app was my short answer. Or just put them both on there as long as it's marking up elements that are present on the page.